Welcome to the show. It's a new week. It's a new day. And it is not a new world in terms of what's going on with coronavirus. It's much the same as what was going on last week, worse in some places. And yet, Donald Trump had a rally. He did it. 6,200 people showed up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, not the 62,000 that Donald Trump predicted. They didn't really have 1 million people trying to go, as Donald Trump's campaign manager claimed. But we will get to all of that. And we're going to spend some time today talking about the different aspects of this rally, because there are so many stories and types of stories, and because they're so emblematic of much of what is wrong with the United States of America right now. So we're going to go through step by step how Donald Trump's rally was overhyped. They claim 1 million people wanted to go. They got 6,200. It was irresponsible. Oklahoma is a coronavirus hotspot. 6 Trump staffers sent in advance to set up for the rally tested positive. Chock full of ignorant people was the rally, people who vote. And we're going to talk about the issue of anti-intellectualism in the United States and the content of the rally itself, riddled with horrifying admissions from Donald Trump, each of which would be a scandal in a normal administration. So I'm going to get to crowd size and that part. I'm going to get to the public health component. I'm going to get to interviews with some of the attendees. We're going to get to all of it, but we have to start with what the president said during the rally. And what Trump said during the rally was illustrative of just how triggered Donald Trump truly is because of the things that people say on the internet about him. Donald Trump during this rally spent more than 20 minutes just on his water drinking and ramp walking problems. And Trump's actual speech also shed light on the reality that Trump has no real 2020 campaign message. And this is something I also am going to talk about a little bit later. Things aren't good. So Trump can't really campaign on things being good unless he lies, which he has no problem doing. And to some degree, he has been. But the attacks on Biden are mostly ad hominems. So you've got no real message. Attacks on your opponent are ad hominems. We have 20% real unemployment, and there's no actual case being made for his reelection. And that was very much represented during this rally. It was one of the most jingoistic and self-centered, xenophobic, ignorant horror shows that I've seen in politics for a long time. And let's get into just a couple of the specifics of what Donald Trump said. Now, this is a borderline criminal admission that Donald Trump made. It's a murderous admission. Donald Trump admitted during the rally that he asked for testing to be reduced, to be slowed down, because he knew if we tested more, we would find more cases. This is borderline criminal. This leads to deaths. It is murderous. Take a look at what Donald Trump admitted to.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people. You're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. They test and they test. We got tests that people don't know what's going on. We got tests. We got another one over here.
I really need people to understand. Testing saves lives. This is tantamount to murdering people deliberately. It's not, oh, we've been struggling and we just haven't yet gotten testing where we want it. This is Trump saying the disaster of testing was partially he was asking for testing to be held back. And the White House later, realizing the degree of insanity that this is, the White House later said it was a joke. There was no indication that it was a joke. This is not something to even joke about, obviously. And please understand that testing finds more cases. Like in the short term, okay, if we don't do any tests today, we don't find any cases today. But testing identifies people who shouldn't be going out. It slows the spread. And in the long run, more testing reduces cases. The more testing you do over the long run, the number of people who are testing positive should decline. And it is murderous to suggest do less testing. Now, Trump then again pulled out this pejorative name for coronavirus, Kung Flu, during the rally. You could tell he was sort of manic from the crowd's energy, despite it being a far smaller crowd than he was anticipating. Clearly still hopped up from the crowd and throwing Kung Flu out there.
It's a disease, without question, has more names than any disease in history. I can name Kung Flu, I can name 19 different versions of names.
So the crowd cheering, and in particular, you see one woman behind Trump who sort of raised her fist in a sign of victory, I guess, at Trump calling the virus Kung Flu, certainly a Pyrrhic victory, if nothing else. Then Trump drank from a glass of water and the crowd went wild. Now that sounds weird. It is weird. Think about how low the bar is that Trump drinking out of a glass of water with one hand, I guess to prove his critics that he's able to do it, he got a standing ovation. That is how low the expectations are. Take a look, Trump drinking water, throwing the glass aside, and the crowd goes absolutely wild.
And I don't want to get water on the tie. And I don't want to drink much. So I lifted up the water. I see we have a little glass of water. Where the hell did this water come from? Right? Where did it come from? And I look down on my tie, because I've done it. I've taken water, and it spills down into your tie. It doesn't look good for a long time. And frankly, the tie is never the same. So I put it up to my lip, and then I say, because I don't want it to, just in case. And they gave me another disease. They gave me another disease.
This is a very, very sick guy. I said Trump doesn't have a 2020 message. Maybe the message is I can drink water with one hand, and they think that will be better than what Joe Biden is offering. Maybe they're right. We'll know in 4.5 months, but what a time to be alive. 20 minutes spent rambling about how he can walk down a ramp and drink water with a single hand. So it was genuinely disgusting and also, as I said, representative of so many of Trump's problems. No message, no vision, a disjointed speech in a red state that he easily won, and still unable to fill barely a third of the 19,000 seats in the arena. And we are supposed to believe that there is any reasonable case to reelect this guy. Well, that's what I'm going to tackle next, because we're going to look at interviews with Trump supporters at the rally. And what you will hopefully quickly realize is that when these are your supporters, maybe you don't need the facts on your side to justify reelection. When these are your supporters, maybe it doesn't matter that you have no case for your own reelection. Let's talk about that next. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pakman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. There's no catch whatsoever. But if you want, Privacy also offers a $10 a month plan that gives you 1% cash back and lets you create 36 credit cards a month, and a $25 a month plan tailored more for small businesses where you can create 60 card numbers a month and much more. But definitely go ahead and at least get started with the free plan. You'll protect your financial info. Companies can't charge you unexpectedly. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pakman.